welcome back, my dear sweet friends. How are you doing? I feel like there is like this big block of time between when I get to see you all. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But my name is Emmy. My husband is Paul, for those of you who are new here. And this is the channel Frugal Money Saver. We put out videos every Tuesday and Friday. And basically we cover everything from homemaking, cooking, gardening, and a ton of money saving tips and hints. So you get a little bit of everything here. Welcome if you are new. And for those of you coming back, well, you know we love you. So let's talk about today's video. It's truth time. It is truth time. Paul and I were talking, and we don't want you ever, any of you, to believe that we have it all together and that we are doing everything we're supposed to all the time. Because that's not truth, and I don't ever want you to think that, because we're real. And we keep this channel real, you know that. So I thought today would be kind of neat to give you 5 things that we struggle with on our frugal journey. They may be things that you struggle with as well, so it'll be kind of neat to compare notes. We really wanted to do this, so Paul and I sat together and we bounced off ideas and we came up with 5 things that sometimes we disagree on, that we don't see eye to eye on, because we don't see eye to eye on everything all the time. But we always seem to kind of get that happy middle medium. And that's a good thing. We're also going to include a recipe for Chicken Cordon Bleu Casserole. I asked you all over on the community tab, out of 3 different recipes from my meal plan that I showed on Friday, what recipe you would all love to see. And over 50% of you wanted this recipe, and I can't blame you because it sounds so good and it looks super easy. So make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to show you it from beginning to end. So let's get right to these 5 struggles that Paul and I encounter sometimes on our frugal journey. So number 1, for me, it's seeing something on sale and not buying a ton of that item. And I'm going to give you an example. Kohl's had these beautiful sheets on sale. They're these super soft sheets, and they're usually retail for about $60. Who would pay $60 for a pair of sheets? God bless you, because not me. But they were on super sale for like $15. I had a 30% off code. And then there was like something else. Oh, and then it was free shipping to the store. That was it. So I didn't have to pay shipping. I could just go and pick it up. So the sheets came to like $11 a set for queen sheets. That is an amazing price. And Paul and I needed summer sheets. We have tons of flannel and we have fleece sheets, but nothing for the summer. The pair we had ripped, it's gone. It's now rags upstairs. I saw this price. Right away, I thought, I've got to buy 5 pairs. I've got to buy 5 pairs of these sheets. And then I'm like thinking to myself, no, Emmy, you don't need 5 pairs of these sheets. Well, what if they never go on sale again? Are you kidding me? I mean, by the time these sheets wear out, they will definitely have been on sale. You'll definitely have another coupon. The best part is these are summer sheets, so what do we use them for? Maybe 4 or 5 months out of the year, because as soon as September comes, we're right back to flannel and fleece. So I talked to myself and I was like, 2 pairs, Em, that's all you really need. And I struggle with that. I struggle like, am I missing this amazing bargain? Am I missing out on this? And I have to keep myself in check with that. And that is a real struggle with me. And just as a side note, these containers that sheets come in, you see these? Don't toss them. They are awesome. Take the paper out of them. And when you go on a trip, or if you have to travel, what we do is I put Paul shampoo, my conditioner, suntan lotion, anything that could possibly leak onto your clothing in a suitcase or in a bag, go right in here. I zipper it up and I take it along. It's a freebie. It's a free travel bag for cosmetics. So don't toss those on a side note. So I got sheets and a free travel cosmetic bag. So that's the first thing that I personally struggle with. Paul has no issue with this at all. Number 2, negative news broadcasts, any kind of negative outside influence can definitely take me from my happy place and cause some kind of buying concerns. Let me explain this one. Paul is very into news. He will watch the news. He's very up on it. He is passionate about a lot of hot topics. I agree with him on 99.9% of what he believes. I believe we're very on board together with this. He can take that news in, filter it, and deal wonderfully with it. Where I have a little bit of problems with that. If I am bombarded with like a lot of negative news, a lot of negative happenings in the world, I tend to want to retreat to my happy place and feel comfort, feel safe. And I sometimes will consider, okay, maybe I should buy like kitchen towels, or maybe I need a new bath mat, something grounding for me. And that is not good, because instead of spending on something that makes me feel secure, and household items, kitchen items do that. I know this is weird, but I'm keeping it honest with you. I have come extremely far on that. Now I have learned to pray. I have learned to go outside and take a walk, or just sit outside and just think positive thoughts. I listen to positive things. I'll watch positive things on TV instead of spending money. So that's not an issue so much. Now, again, Paul, no problem. He can take the news in, he can take the events of the world in, and he is able to process them. It elevates his blood pressure a little bit, but not in a way where he needs to counter it with something else. Where for me, for a while, it was not spending a lot, even if it was a new set of washcloths, whatever it may be. I have to admit, sometimes it does rear its head, and I have to be careful of it. Number 3, not eating out. Now, this is Paul's passion. 9 out of 10 times if we go out to eat, it is definitely Paul who says, let's eat out. And the problem is, though, after we're done eating out, he'll look at me and say, that wasn't worth $40. And I don't say anything, because this is something that he enjoys and we do, but this is something he struggles with. I think also because the way we were brought up at dinner time, Paul was from like a traditional American family where they would have meat and potato and a vegetable every night. I was brought up on more of Mediterranean cooking. There was a lot of pasta, a lot of fish, a lot of vegetables, stuff like that. So that is how I cook. If you ever notice my recipes, yes, now I'm getting more comfort food in. I love that. Very rarely will you see me make like a roast or something like that. We never ate beef growing up, never. So it wasn't something I learned to cook real well. We do have hamburger. We do eat a lot of ground beef. So Paul wants that kind of food. We'll go to the store and I'll see a roast or something and I'll be like, let's buy it. No. I'm not paying $15, $20 for a piece of meat. In turn, then, on special occasions and things like that, we will go out to eat. Then he struggles with the fact that, oh my gosh, I can't believe we just spent that money on something to eat when you could have made this at home better. So this is definitely something he struggles with, but I have to say, what would you say, Paul?
When we go out to, shopping and stuff like that, picking up stuff, I'll, drive down the strip and see all the signs, Sizzler and Arby's, and, there's all that food that, I don't know, I kind of enjoy it, but, it's not good for me, but I got to keep focused and not put the turn signal on and just get home, because my wife always cooks me a delicious dinner anyway. So
thank you.
Yeah, but I love going out to a fine restaurant and having a nice dinner. I really do.
But now this will lead us to number 4. This is also Paul. He is terrible about spending money on himself. Now, like he just says, he loves to eat out at a fine restaurant. So let's say our anniversary will come and I'll say, come on, let's go out to eat. And he'll say to me, oh no, I don't want to spend $60 on dinner. And I'm like, he's really bad. He wants it and then he doesn't want it. So number 4 is his indecision when it comes to spending money. And this is a real thing. We'll even go out to a flea market and he'll see something. He takes old radios, tube radios, and he converts them into guitar amplifiers. And I know I've showed you one of his in a video. He'll see one, it'll be maybe $30, $35. Now this is not gonna break the budget. It's not gonna take away from a utility bill. We have the money. So that's not the problem. He will circle that flea market, come back around, and won't buy it. Won't buy it. And then we get home and he'll be like, you know what? I probably should have gotten that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You'll notice if we go to a thrift store or if we go to the dollar store or a rummage sale, all of you will say, where's Paul's treat? Where's Paul's item that he got? Well, ask Paul, where's your item, Paul?
I'll pick up some French fries or something at the drive-thru. I'm easy.
It's like no matter what, he wants to spend and then he doesn't. So that's a conundrum because it can be a little frustrating. Then what I do literally is just buy for him for his birthday, for Christmas. I'll notice things that he looks at and I will get him, even if it's something for his guitars or something like that. He really just can't justify frivolous spending on himself. That's basically it. And I appreciate that. And we are here living like we do because of his steadfastness, if that's a word. And I appreciate that so much in him. But now you know why when we go and to the thrift store or something, you're all like, how come Paul never gets anything? There you go. All right, our number 5 struggle is home improvement DIYs. Now, Paul is much better at this than I am. He has redone the deck like we showed you. He's put a new roof on our shed. He has done tons of projects around the house. He does our painting. I can do the finances. I can budget. I am not 100% good with the DIYs. I would rather hire someone. So that sometimes can be a bit of a struggle. And he is amazing with this stuff. Now, if I had to paint the kitchen, I would call a painter. I really would. Him, he's like, I'm not calling a painter, I'm doing it. And God bless him, it looks beautiful. He does such a good job. I would love personally to redo antiques. I think redoing antiques would be amazing. It's just not my forte. It is not something I am good at. I'd rather buy the antique done and have somebody else do it for me. That's a bit of a struggle because I am more prone to say, let's spend the money to get this or that. And he is much more focused on, let me try it. I'm going to do it. And I always give him free range with that kind of stuff. And there are things that we don't do. Like when we needed the new door upstairs, that was way beyond our capacity. But I have to say, financially, I am more apt to pay someone to do something for me. And he is much, much better on, I will do it myself and it gets done beautifully. So those are the 5 things, because I don't ever want you all to think that we have it all together and we agree on everything. And this is just keeping it real, because these are real struggles every day on a frugal journey. You and your partner, or you even with yourself, can have conflicting thoughts. Should I, shouldn't I? When you get together, long as you can compromise and agree, it really does work. And it really is a blessing. And the money being saved by both of us kind of meeting halfway is astounding, actually. I never thought that we would be able to do this as well as. So I hope those were encouraging to you. Now let's get to tonight's dinner. I am so excited to make this. I was going to make a half a recipe and then I was like, heck with it. We're going to make a 9x13 because on Tuesdays my son comes for dinner and I know he will love this. So let's get right to it. What we're going to start with is a 9x13 pan that I greased. And over on this plate, I have got a cup and a half of cooked ham. We happen to have ham left over from Easter in the freezer, so that's what we use, but you could use a ham steak, whatever you feel comfortable with. But it has to be cooked ham, about a cup and a half. Over here is about 2.5 cups of cooked chicken. I roasted a chicken the other night, And we used the leftovers from the breast. Both meats need to be cooked fully. First, I'm going to layer the chicken on the bottom of my 9x13. Wait till you all see at the end of this video what Dixie did to Mommy's bed, because I happened to catch it on camera. You're gonna love that. All right, Dix. So here we go. We've got that on the bottom, and now we're gonna put the ham right on top of that. And this is a really simple recipe too. I was surprised how easy. Okay, that's the first step. Now for our sauce, we need 5 ounces of Swiss cheese. I had slices, so what I did is weighed them on my digital scale, 5 ounces, and I just cut them into little pieces so they'll melt. You need a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 cups of milk, 1/4 cup of flour, 4 tablespoons of butter, a little mustard, about a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and about a tablespoon of lemon juice, which that was a frozen lemon half. I'm just going to let that defrost, and we're going to add that to our sauce. In this pot, the 4 tablespoons of butter has been melted. I'm going to take my 1/4 cup of flour. I'm going to add that, whisk it in, and let this cook for about a minute. Like I always tell you when you're making a roux, you don't want that taste of raw flour. So this is cooked for about a minute. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of milk. And I'm going to whisk this in until it gets slightly thick. It'll probably take about a minute or 2. So I've been whisking this for about a minute, and it is getting nice and thick. What I'm going to add to this, Swiss cheese. I'm going to put this on low too. I'm going to lower this now. Calls for half a teaspoon of garlic, but I put a little less in. And put some mustard in there. I always link the original recipe down below. Then we need about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan. That gives it that beautiful nutty taste. A nice squeeze of lemon. About a tablespoon of lemon juice. And then we just give this a good whisk. And you can see how thick this is. Now you're going to want to whisk it. I lowered it to low. And we're going to want to whisk this till that cheese is completely melted. All right, this has been cooking. It looks like it melted beautifully. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put it on top of our chicken and ham. Now my oven is preheating at 350, and I am just pouring this delicious creaminess on top of here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do to elevate this just a little bit. In this pan, I melted 1 tablespoon of butter, and then I added a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. And I think this is going to give it a little something extra. If you don't have panko, use regular breadcrumbs. But you could use cracker crumbs, Ritz crackers, whatever you have, buttery crackers, something kind of neutral tasting. And just saute that with the butter till it gets toasty for about a minute or 2. And now we're just going to sprinkle those breadcrumbs all over our casserole. We're going to put this in a 350 oven for 30 minutes. Now what I'm going to do, and you don't have to do this by any means, you can just eat it as is, but I'm going to take 2 cups of just a small spiral pasta, and I am going to boil those. I have about 11 minutes left on the bake, and I am just going to cook these up. And I thought it'd be really great to serve it over a little bit of pasta. Now I just have a few minutes left on the Cordon Bleu bake and the pasta. So now I'm really going crazy. I'm going to add a little bit of frozen broccoli florets. We're just going to cover that for the remainder of the time, and that's going to steam right in with the pasta. So, can you hear that? That is the sound of bubbly goodness. This cooked for 30 minutes. What they said to do, though, is let this sit for 10 minutes before you serve it. So we're going to listen to the original recipe and we're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. I put the noodles down with a little broccoli, and now I'm going to come over here and I am scooping this up, and we are going to put this right on top of the pasta. Oh, look at that cheesy goodness. Oh my goodness. This looks amazing. Okay, we've been working outside, so neither one of us wants to do a taste test. We just talked about this, but I promise I will let you know how this is. So I hope this video was encouraging, just so that you can look at things in your own way. I talk about this all the time. Your frugal journey is so personal. You're not going to have this one's journey. I'm not going to have your journey. You're not going to have my journey. You're going to do what works for you. Basically, what we're all doing is trying to figure out where we personally want to spend our money. Not where someone else tells us to spend our money, but where we want to spend our money. What is important to you? What are you saving for? What are you striving for? And then that will be your focus. And I just thought I would share these 5 things, because so many times I get on here and I say, okay, you need to do this, 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 and this. But you need to know we struggle just like the rest of you. And we love you so much. Virtual hug. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Again, like I say, there are so many channels out there, and that you're willing to spend some time with us means the world to us. We love you. We ask for you to be safe, be well. We wish you blessings, and until our next video, bye-bye. Dixie, what are you doing on Mommy's bed like that? Come here. What happened? Dixie! Oh my goodness. Do you see this, everybody? Oh. Dixie Belle, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Did you just do this to the bed? Did you do that? Huh? You did. Look at this mess, Dixie. Ugh. Could you love her anymore?